Good morning. How are you? I'm WESH 2 First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather. And let me tell you something, a live look outside on our tower cam network in Tavares shows some dark skies. And let me tell you something, my friends, we actually have some thunderstorms already on our First Warning live Doppler radar. So here we are. And I want to zoom over to our western spots. Sumter, Lake County, back over to Citrus and Hernando counties. I'm going to lapse this for you. And you can see those storms coming in off of the Gulf, even some pockets of heavier stuff here around Rutland, Lake Pennsauken. There's where the heavier stuff is located right now. And the beautiful thing with our radar is we've got our own velocity product, just checking. Thankfully, not seeing anything in terms of too intense of wind, but definitely some very heavy rainfall. So let's zoom in and you can see on the southern shore there of Lake Pennsauken, very heavy rainfall. That will be crossing the turnpike into Wildwood here shortly. Rutland, excuse me, back over to Wildwood, Fruitland Park, watching this. In terms of the lightning count here, 17 strikes as our live radar sweeps through here, showing you that heavy rainfall. Back over toward Leesburg, watching this heavy stuff kind of working in your direction. Eventually, we'll lift to the north. I'll just put a quick lapse on it one time, and you can kind of see that stuff working through. Tavares, you'll be up next to see it. And then eventually, we get over to the 429, Apopka, Sorrento, Heathrow. So, yeah, we've got some stormy weather on our live radar this morning. It is not a perfectly quiet start to the day. So, we've got that going for us, okay? All right, that said, let's chat about temperatures here, see what's doing. We are in the 70s area wide, mid 70s, upper 70s. When we look to our 12-hour forecast, we do call for impact weather today because we will see those showers and those thunder showers around. This morning, think of it as just kind of a little bit of activity. Nothing too much. But into the afternoon, that's when we start to see more rainfall moving through the area. And of course, some of those storms could be strong at times, right? So we just kind of have to keep our eyes peeled for it. And as long as we do that, we're going to be good to go, right? Does that make sense? Works for me, right? All right, so let's do this. Let's dial up our Futurecast model and let's get an idea of the storms. All right, so this morning we've got some of the stuff around. Then 11, 12 o'clock, notice more stuff kind of working through the area and then building and building and building. Our Futurecast model is not going crazy with the rougher weather. Let's pop up and look at the HER model. I'm curious, and remember that there are two versions of the HER model. So I want to load the rapid refresh version of it first. All right. Give it a second. Okay. All right, perfect. All right, so here's the rapid refresh HER model, okay? Showing the stuff coming in from the Gulf. And then into the mid-afternoon, are we going to bubble more convection? Interesting. It's basically just saying that this wave of energy is coming in. These models are not doing the greatest job. Gotta tell ya. Hate it when that happens. All right, so that's the HER model, the rapid refresh version. Let's look at the extended. All right, let me dial up the extended here. Ba, 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 ba. All right, so here's the HER extended model. Okay, so it's all right. So this is, I think that this actually has a better handle on things. Okay, so we start off quiet with the stuff that we're tracking this morning out west. And then it's basically saying that 11 o'clock or so, we start invigorating the atmosphere up and get some storms popping over the metro. And then those storms kind of work off to the east. That, to me, makes sense. Okay? That, I think, is the best idea of the setup today. So, when we look at today's threats, okay, today is a level 1 out of 5 risk, like yesterday, for strong to severe storms. Okay. 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., we're going to call this impact weather. All right. Torrential downpours, hailstorms. We got that. We had some hail yesterday for sure, just as expected. The temperatures upstairs are nice and cold. These storms tap into some of that. They could bring down some of those winds. They could bring in the flooding components. So yeah, that's why today again we're going with impact weather across Central Florida. Okay, 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. It looks like it's going to be a little bit of an earlier start again, even earlier perhaps than yesterday. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so when we kind of get an idea of where we're at here, we've got those storms, but this weekend we're actually tracking a cold front. Kind of an odd bird thing wrapping up the month of May, right? So here's the setup, okay? Essentially, tomorrow we'll wake up and there'll be a front, and we'll look at kind of the current status on it now. But tomorrow we'll look at this front, and it's going to move in and bring with it showers, even thunder showers, as is normal for an afternoon. Then that activity pushes into South Florida as that front dies. Now, the big question for me, and you got to understand, I've been in Central Florida for a very long time. I've only ever forecast Florida weather. I forecast for Central Florida and I forecast for South Florida. Where will this front die? The models say over South Florida, but you notice it's keeping in some rain for our southern spots on Sunday. That's a little different than it was, right? So to that point, is the potential there that this front dies over us and keeps us in the moisture? That's a potential. These are all pieces of the puzzle that we're going to have to track, right? So, looking at the 7-day forecast, then, okay, let's just put this together. Today, 50% coverage of showers and thunder showers. We're going to have those storms around. It's impact weather this afternoon. Then for tomorrow, fronts around, drops the temperature. Sunday, Monday look to be a bit drier. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we start to bring that rain chance back up, right? Nautilus says, yeah, we received some nice gusts in North Lake County yesterday. Yeah, when we look at here, I'll pop that up again real fast. And instead of just using the live radar, I'm going to pop up the storm reports. Give it a second, and I will change this around from the last 3 hours to the last 24 hours. These are all the storm reports from yesterday. And that West Volusia one, that's a hail report. It's funny. I was watching this cell on radar, and I'm like, oh, yeah, you're putting out some hail. Oh, yeah, you are. Oh, yeah, you are. Almost an inch in diameter. Train spotter out in the Lake Helen area. Okay, then over to the coast, got some gusts. 47 miles an hour, Daytona Beach. New Smyrna Beach, 40 miles an hour. Out into Sumter County, had a wind gust report there. If I can click the button. 44 miles an hour. Up here into Ocala, had a hail report southwest of Ocala, 0.8 inches, so almost an inch, and a wind gust report at the Ocala airport. Oh, geez. One fatality resulting from a snap. See, I was not at work yesterday afternoon. I did the morning show, so this is crazy. One fatality from a snapped tree. Did WESH report on this? I'm not saying that to knock WESH at all. Not at all. Did WESH report on this? WESH.com. I see Marquise. Wow. I'm just looking. Wow. I'll have to. I'm sure Tony told them. That's crazy to me. A tree fell and took someone's life. Goodness. What else do we have? Oh, and then in Brevard County here. 45-mile-an-hour wind. Excuse me, 43 at the Kennedy Space Center, 43 down at Melbourne. So okay. So had some decent little storms there yesterday. And agreed, right? Like bringing it back over here. We hit that button and we hit that button and we've already got the stormy weather, right? Isn't that something? Now, thankfully, looking at the velocity product, this is our live radar. Tampa radar, not tons of wind. Our live radar, not tons of wind. Yeah. I mean, there's some gusts in there for sure, right? Like this is kind of the heavier stuff out near Lake Pennsauken. There's 470. We switch over to our live radar and our live radar highest resolution data signal processor available. You see those pixels, those gates, very, very, very small. So there's that. 30 miles an hour. Not severe. It's gusty. And the brighter shades of green show the more of the winds, right? So yeah. At any rate, moving into Inverness, moving into Rutland. So we've got the storms in the forecast today, my friends. All right. Now, that said, cold fronts moving in. So what I would like to do is I would like to look out to the different computer models, get an idea of the timeline for these storms, timeline for our weekend forecast. So let's do this. Let's dial back up the Futurecast model, which is struggling with today, I'll admit. So I can't promise that it's going to be doing a great job for later. But I think that if you take a step back and look at Futurecast and just understand that it's trying to bubble up activity lunchtime around the metro off to the east, I think that Futurecast at least can be interpreted. Oliver's asking a great question, and so I've got to pause for a second because squirrel. So Oliver asks, how can the radar pick up wind? I know how radar works on something like an aircraft, but how does it work to measure wind speed? Ah, yes. So this is our live Doppler radar, and it is the Doppler effect that allows it to pick up wind speed. Okay, so this is radar. This is what we use most of the time. It's nothing special. I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong. But the real special part to our radar, and I'd say 99% of weather radars today have this capability. Not all of them, but 99%. It's called Doppler radar. So what it does is it shoots a radio wave out at the speed of light, bounces off the rain, and it bounces back, and that's how we get this. But the Doppler part of Doppler radar actually goes a step further, and it listens to the noise. Think about it when you're sitting near a train that's going by, okay? This radar is your eyes seeing the train go by. But the Doppler part of the radar is your ear. Follow me here, okay? As the train's going by, he's blowing or she's blowing the horn. And you hear that shift in sound. That shift in sound is the Doppler effect. My friends, the Doppler effect. Right there. It's the intensity of, I'm oversimplifying this, but bear with me. It's the intensity and shift of that sound. So the Doppler radar shows two different colors. It shows wind going toward the radar and wind going away from the radar. Think about that train going by. It makes a different noise when it's coming and when it's going. That's this. That is the Doppler effect. Oversimplification? Yeah, sure. Hopefully that makes sense. Amy says, I like that explanation. Thank you. So when you see the radar, first warning, live Doppler radar. 90% of the time we don't use the Doppler. this is the Doppler. All right. I will also say anybody that has a here's the other part of radar that I love. It's hard. Like you could set this up to look great easily. To get velocity to look great, this is literally a ballet. This is a delicate dance. Look at how pretty. All right, you got a question here. Owen's asking, Klingeman, good morning. I'm looking to do some flying this morning for a few hours. What do you think of the stuff coming from the west? Yeah, so the problem with the stuff coming from the west is that it's early, right? So just take a look at the live radar. We were just talking about it, right? Like, where is it heading? It's heading towards Sorrento. It's heading towards Sanford. It's heading toward DeLand. Let me tap into the Tampa radar and notice that there's more stuff in the Gulf, but it's this little batch here that kind of broke off and is moving in. So it depends, Owen, what kind of flying you want to do, right? If you're doing the kind of flying that takes you out of the airport area, as long as you don't mind diverting if you need to, you know, I would say if you're going to go flying, I would go south of this line instead of north because it almost looks like it's wanting to start jogging to the north more than anything else. But yeah, once you exit that airport environment, it is what it is. It's got thunder, it's got lightning. At the moment, it doesn't have any kind of severe winds. You know, again, we were just talking, Owen, about the Doppler effect on the radar, and just looking at the winds, 27 to 29 mile an hour winds. It's not severe. I'm not flying through this. You wouldn't even with an instrument rating want to fly through it. But yeah, that stuff is kind of heading in this. And I don't know where you're flying from, Owen. If it's Sanford, it's going to kind of be around or perhaps just north of Sanford. So when does it arrive? All right, so let's look at the Doppler radar here. It runs an algorithm because I'm not smart. Looks like it's moving 82 degrees at 21 miles an hour. So based on that, plug in the mathematics of it. 21 miles an hour, so that's 90, so about 82. So it looks like it would try to about an hour-ish time frame. That's rough math there, Owen. Jeannie Rowan's asking fly above it. Problem is, I would assume, looking at Owen's picture, doesn't look like Owen's talking about flying jets. Looks like Owen's talking about flying the old general aviation. So to that point, you got an hour-ish, Owen. Hold on one second. Tim, my partner in the airplane's texting me. I got to hold on a second. It's one batch. No, he's trying to fly also. Oh man, all the weather. PM says fear mongering. There may be something, probably a rainmaker and a drought ender. Oh, you're talking about the tropics? We haven't even gotten to the tropics yet. We're just talking about the rain. We were just doing a Doppler effect lesson. So do you guys understand the Doppler effect? Did that help? Hopefully that helps. Owen says, awesome. No jets here looks like I'm hanging on the ground today. I'm sorry, Owen. When the sky's clear, buddy, it just means you and I have to go fly. That's all. We gotta do what we gotta do. I know we're tracking thunderstorms, Kate says, but wondering what the allergy count might be in Daytona Beach with the Sahara dust. Ah, yes. I'm going to look it up right now. Stand by. Enhance. Actually, the pollen counts are low. The air quality issues may be up. But the pollen counts are low. How's the West Coast looking today? I mean, let's take a step back and let's look at the wide shot. This is the surface map. All right, so we've got those storms just kind of bubbling up. There's a little convergence line, okay, sitting like right in here. If you want to get super nerdy, it's like a trough that's sitting right in here, a prefrontal trough. Okay, it's a prefrontal trough off of this cold front here. So you've got that cold front moving our direction. That cold front is going to be the cold front that brings us our opportunities for rainfall. Lots of issues today. The models are kind of struggling with it. Yeah. Nikki says, absolutely, Eric. Great explanation. Thank you. Mickey says, I wish we could have access to the WESH 2 velocity on the WESH 2 app. That would be awesome. I have fought for that. I don't know why that's a struggle. I have fought for that. I want you to know. I have fought for that. Radar looks and Doppler hears. I'd never thought. Okay, so Oliver says radar looks and Doppler hears. I've never thought of it like that prior to this little discussion that I pulled out of my tuchus, but here we are. By the way, I don't know if I've seen my brother Frank in here yet, but like he always complains about not having any rain in the Tampa area. Like, take a look right now. There's a decent storm in Ruskin, but it looks like there's been some areas of rain out by my brother today, huh? That's not too bad. All right. Let's see here. He doesn't like looking at the West Coast. As I literally look at the West Coast and didn't do it because of you. Did it in spite of you. All right. It's classified. I can tell you, but it's classified. That's right. That's right. Pushing sound waves as the sound comes towards you, then stretching them as they pull away. I had a great physics teacher in high school. Still remember. All right. Okay. So, any questions about us here locally for today? And then we can step into the tropics because, yes, there's that whole thing. All right, let's see here. Where is Frank Burris? He's there. We actually got some this morning. Look at you. You got some this morning. All right, questions about this? Questions, comments, concerns, anything at all before we move on? Anything at all? Questions? I need to turn, hold on. I'm putting this full screen. My fan in this office is not on high. Hold on. I have a minimum fan setting during coffee talk of medium because you guys make me sweat. Not really make me sweat, but like when I'm sitting here talking, it worked up, so I had to turn the fan up. Okay. All right. That's where we're at. Questions, comments, concerns. Matt says, warning, the GFS has been binge drinking. Has it? Are we about to have some fun looking at that? Ay, 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 ay. Oliver, I don't think this group is ready for Super Trooper references. Why not? All right, well, while we're doing that, I'm just going to pop the radar up in the bottom left corner. That way, as we're tracking, we can be fully. I'm just. Okay. All right, so we're going to have the live radar in the bottom left corner as we move on to the tropics, okay? All right, so let's talk about the tropics. Hurricane season mere days away. We, of course, have Alvin over in the Pacific Basin. Not a threat to us whatsoever. All right. Here's a live look at the kind of broad shot here. Important to note there are 0 areas of concern for right now. Hold on one second. All right. So, Priscilla's asking if anyone's in a deficit still. Yeah, kind of. A little bit. Yeah. Okay, so nothing expected to develop in the next 7 days' time. That's what we forecast for. The window of development is 7 days. Now, let's pop up the raw GFS model and let's look at it together. All right. Right off the bat, we've got a whole lot of nothing. There's our front. And what's interesting is the front wants to push south, but it's not doing. I'm not sold we're going to have perfectly dry days. Okay. On our 7-day forecast, we've got it. I'm just not sold that it's going to be 100% dry. I think at least our southern areas are going to keep some moisture around. We'll see. That definitely gets into pattern recognition. Yeah. All right. High pressure builds in. Okay. CAGLO trying to develop. There's the 5th of June. That's the 11th. Now, couple things about this. This is one run of one model. It is a deterministic model. Developing a CAG, moving into the Gulf, and going into the Northern Gulf. I just want to start by saying this fits our cycling weather pattern, right? So understand that when we're looking at this, this is not out of left field, right? One run of one model. Is that it? That's wanting it to be a hurricane, I think. What's that pressure? 955? Jesus. Okay, I'm not saying that there's going to be a hurricane. We'll go back. Let's go one GFS run back. 967. All right. So the GFS is like, all right, bro, we're gonna have a hurricane. I'm not going that far yet. Take it easy. All right. The 18Z yesterday, kind of the west coast of Florida. 12Z yesterday. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, hot take. Computer models are guidance, not gospel. So that's the GFS. Now, yeah, I saw that. Thank you. All right, so let's go back and let's look at the GFS ensembles. Now, there's 700-ish people across the various platforms on Coffee Talk. This is where we earn our money, my friends. So, the GFS ensemble is essentially panels, pressure, okay, is essentially 30 different versions of the GFS that all run unique to each other. And then what I can do is instead of displaying them like this, I can put them all on top of each other. Multi-member pressure, low as minimum. All right. So we look. And there's not every model on, or not every member is showing something, but there's definitely some ensembles showing something, right? So, okay. Definitely, some of those areas of low pressure, they're definitely something to watch. Okay? Yeah. All right. So that's the GFS ensemble. Let's come back. Let's look at the European deterministic, the European model. We'll start there. Normalized anomaly. Oh, yes, of course. Do that. I'm just going to go. The 0Z is as far as the last one that goes far out. And notice the European through the 14th of June doesn't do anything, at least the deterministic run. High pressure. Timestamp is in the top right corner. Okay. Road Chewer PE on YouTube. Are the cycles you refer to the LRC stuff? I was reading a paper on it, but didn't finish it yet. Yes. Yeah. Yep. It is. All right, so that's the 00Z Euro, the most recent one that goes very far out. The 12Z from yesterday, trying to develop lowered pressure, but it's struggling to. All right, so then what we can do is we can look at the European ensembles. Again, it's like 50 flavors of the model. Think Baskin Robbins. All right. Oh, you only go out 140, so I got to go to the 0Z. All right. But you can see the blossoming. All right. The Euro's later, but you can kind of see it's trying to get something going. Not every ensemble member is showing it, but there's the ensembles are coming alive. So from about the 7th of June on to about the 15th, depending on models and all of that stuff. He's trying to figure it out, right? Go to the 12Z and it's there as well. So at this point in time, we don't have anything inside of the forecast window that we actually watch. And look, I mean, the Caribbean is as quiet as can be right now. But in that June 7th to 12th time frame, the global models are consistent with something. There's something, some sort of an area of interest there. Right? Matt says, strap in, the season is here. Pretty much. So we sit back, we watch, we wait, we track. Right? That's kind of where we're at. All right. Questions, comments, concerns about the tropics? Nothing scary. I need you to know there's nothing scary out there. Nothing scary. Control Alt Elite says, here we go again. A lot earlier than last year. Without having that stuff in front of me, there's that. All right. Any other questions? I got you covered. Ian's asking, where do storms go in the month of June typically? Super great question. These are the development points for the month of June. Where they pop, where they go. So it makes sense, the area that we're watching, right? Essentially, the Caribbean into the Gulf is the typical pathway for stuff this time of year. I do not want the fast pass for this ride. Good, Matt. Those don't exist anymore. They only charge for those now. PM over on YouTube says the scary part of the season is August through October. Yeah. Why are more hurricanes coming from the Gulf and not Africa? There's different phases of the season, right? June typically favors the Gulf and areas much closer. And then as we get into the peak of season, look at August, for example. Then we start watching more of the Atlantic basin for it. Yeah. Now I'm found 75 on X says, just be ready for the unexpected. That's it. Expect the unexpected. I said it when I was working on my piece for the hurricane special. One of the things I said was keep your head on a swivel. And that's it. That's it. Right? Jamie Lopez asking about the BSR. Problem with the BSR is now that we get into this phase of the season, it's a little more difficult to use. It's not quite as effective, we'll say. Here, I'll set it up, but understand that the BSR is not as great of a tool. Okay? All right, so here's the BSR. Front. Yeah, it's troublesome because it's not as effective this time of year. Stand by. 15th, it's trying to show some form. This time of year with the jet stream the way that it is, it's just this becomes a tool less favorable for us, you know? I'm looking. You kind of just have to look for the bigger signals in it, and it's just not. All right, so there's an area of low pressure there. When is that? The 16th, 17th? That's a front? June 16th? Yeah, it's just not. This is not. It's not. That front's not going to be in there. We can look for other features, but it's just not. Now, that may be something interesting there. Like June 28th, little area of low pressure. When is that part of the pattern cycle? So June 28th, it's trying to show. I'm going to go to our long range forecast. June 28th. I'm curious about one part of our June 28th. Okay, all right. So area of low pressure there coming in from the Gulf toward Florida. That's June 28th that you're looking at there. Look at the October 26th Gulf low part of the pattern. Potential return dates June 23rd through June 29th. So that's interesting to me, actually. You see that there? That little area of low pressure there showing up, that 1,002 millibar low. June 28th, June 29th. See, that's interesting to me. It fits that part of. Hold on. I hit the wrong button. It fits that part of the cycling weather pattern, June 28th ish. So interesting. Will the weather planes still be flying into the hurricanes? Absolutely, they will. Yeah, absolutely. The one that the one that the model. By the way, so that's what the BSR is kind of hinting at is the October 26th Gulf low around June 28th, or at least that's what it's hinting at the moment. But the one that the models are already starting to hint at would be the slow Gulf low, June 6th through the 13th is what we highlighted. And you know, models are hinting at it. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, right? All right. So that's where we're at. BSR, remember this time of year the BSR is just less. It's good to look at like bigger parts of the pattern. That's all. All right. Questions, comments, concerns? Here's our 7-day forecast so that we're all together. Questions, comments, concerns? Models may be guidance, not gospel, but they're also validation. Well, in this sense of the word, yeah. Absolutely. This may be a dumb question, but how do you know when there's a cold front? I know it's pressure, but how do we get pressure readings or whatever you call it? Well, computer models are just always taking in current data. So they forecast it, right? And just doing this for 25 years, you just kind of learn how to read things. It's kind of like Neo looking at the zeros and the ones. Eventually you're going to figure out how to read the matrix. What was the guy from the Matrix's character who was just like, I don't even see the zeros and the ones anymore. I see the woman in the red dress. I see the guy driving the car. It's the same thing. It's just learning how to read computer models. That's all. Ah. Patty, football on Palm Coast, 7 p.m. Hopefully we'll get this stuff done earlier. Cypher, thank you, Matt. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Cypher. Just call me Weather Cypher. Now I need to go to the Oviedo Mall just to watch The Matrix in my mind. Of course, Lori. Be good. Be good. You guys have any other questions, comments, concerns? I want to take care of you. Cypher. I need an exit. I love the Matrix so much. So much. All right. Questions. Well, let's pop up the live radar. Get a radar update here. Still nothing severe. It's subtly annoying. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like if you live in the villages, got some rain moving in. If you live in the villages, take the pup out. Ignorance. Yeah, ignorance is bliss. If I had $1 every time I said ignorance is bliss, right? Jamie's asking tracking the tropics on Tuesday. I haven't confirmed it with Jeremy, but I would say that we need to probably do it. I would suspect that to be the case. Yeah. I'm just checking to make sure nothing's feisty. It shouldn't be feisty. Little gusts here and there. Also, am I the only weather nerd that's like hypnotized by the live radar sweep? I could watch this thing sweep, and I do watch this thing sweep all the time. Oh gosh. All right. You've got it in the bottom left corner, but like everybody loves a good look at the live radar, right? That's why we're here. You're not here to talk to me, for goodness sake. We're all looking at this together for the same reason. Just like the Matrix, the models, the model has you. Bum, 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 bum. Don Davis's, arguably Don Davis's finest score. I digress. Bum, bum, bum. Ian says, I appreciate you. I broke my leg at work and my recovery is long. So any form of entertainment is awesome right now. Ian, should we just start singing karaoke? Should we do this thing? Neon moon. Sorry, I'm done. Kelly says, Jeremy just got voluntold he's doing it. Yeah, I have to. He tried to call me yesterday. Couldn't. But yeah. I feel a Matrix marathon is in store for me this weekend. Yeah. Yeah. Chris says, sorry, you were saying I was watching the radar sweep. I know, right? I ever since I was a baby, a mere pup in the weather world, I would just sit and watch. I would literally, when I was at the other station in town, the first time I ever had live access to a radar, I just sat there and watched the thing. And they would joke, and I'm going to do the same thing to you now that I did then. I would zoom in on a cell and I would just watch it. They used to just laugh at me so hard. I would just do this and I would wait for it. 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 And when it swept through, it was just, wait, how satisfying is this? Oh my God. How satisfying was that? What? Yes, we haven't done the mic thing in forever since he says, whenever you're a baby, you're like, yeah, I know. You can't control your destiny. I was just a little battery, right? Good gravy. What's the weather for the villages? It's about to be stormy, friend. All of this muck is moving in. Got to take the dog out. You're about to miss that window. Wait, that live radar is going to sweep through here in a minute. Let's watch it get closer. Let's really watch it get close. Watch. Wait for how satisfying this is. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait. Oh. I'm not the only one that feels that way, right? Right? Am I? I mean, if you're in the villages, like villages, town center, maybe, but otherwise. Let's get the Burr's rendition of Bop. What's in your coffee? Pure energy desire. That's all. It's bright and sunny in Lady Lake. We always get missed. I mean, listen. It's give it some time. Just give it some time. OMG, I can't believe I forgot the name of the boy band. What was the boy band that you all made? What was the boy band that you made? So satisfying. I want whatever you had for breakfast this morning. I haven't had anything for breakfast. I haven't. Yeah. Inching closer and closer every soup. That's right. That's right. All right. Any other questions? Questions, comments, concerns, friends? Let me pop up the 7-day. So the models say we're gonna be dry. I gotta be honest. I'm not 100% sold. I'm not 100% sold on these drier days. I think that we could get a few showers in there for sure. Wind Direction. Yeah, that's the name of the boy band is Wind Direction. Cooper, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Cooper. Chris says, for some reason, I've always been interested in the weather. We have a big storm yesterday, including lightning strike and hail. Was excited. Hey, I think a lot of us are weather nerds. Did you all see when Mario Lopez came to the station? How like nutty he got with Manolfi? He's a weather nerd. I mean, I didn't meet him, but he's weather nerd. You clearly tell that. All right. So what are the threats today? Yeah, somebody had asked, Melanie had asked about the hail threat for today. Yeah, there's a hail threat today. Here's the threat by threat breakdown, right? Damaging winds are there. The hail's probably highest threat to the north, but it's there. Mr. Andrew, good morning to you, sir. Intern Andrew, not an intern anymore. Hasn't been an intern for years. Still going to always be an intern in my heart. All right, back to the live radar because it's hypnotic. Checking the winds. Yep, nothing severe. Seriously, this is the part of my job. Like I could just sit and watch the radar all day. I could do it. Oh man. Good heavy rain. Not a ton of lightning in this though. It looks like the lightning has kind of fallen down. 2 lightning strikes. Yeah. Where's that sweep? All right, it's to the south. It's coming around. We're going to watch one more sweep and then I'll let you go. Leslie says, if you're here, you're a weather nerd and among your peers. Oh, peeps. You said peeps. It could be peers too. All right, let's wait for this. Wait for the sweep. Wait for the sweep. Wait for the sweep. Seriously, how pathetic is this? Oh. Yep. 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 Love that. Okay. All right. Do you do you guys have any questions? Comments? Concerns? Anything at all? Are we good? Oh, I haven't shown the coastal 7-day forecast yet. Y'all are asking. Here's our coastal 7-day forecast. All right. Thunderstorms today, a little bit of a break Sunday, Monday, and then back to the thunderstorms. I've lost the sweeps, the creeps, the bleeps. Yep. Thank you, Oliver, for the Spaceballs reference. Wait, not Spaceball. Was it? Was that Spaceballs? Mickey says it's like doing the wave at a concert. Yeah, that's it. This may be the longest coffee talk. Nah, we've gone longer. We've gone longer. All right. That's all I got. All right, listen. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. Sound good?